Well, I got absolutely deep fried today, guys. Not much to say. I liked pretty much all of my trades except one, and there's just certain stuff that didn't happen, as I'll show you guys in a second. Price action was not exactly great, but at the same time, it wasn't bad. There was opportunities. Just the exact setups I wanted didn't play out, so I ended up only taking 5 trades, not 10. You can see this one trade right here. I sized in a shit ton. I believe it was this one right here. I sized in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that ended up being 6 trades, and there was 4 on top of that. But yeah, I took 4 losses, 1 break even, and yeah. So this account, I mean, obviously is all right. I had a pretty big buffer. This account, on the other hand, not so all right. I only got a $500 balance left, and I blew this combine, unfortunately. But that is what it is. The first trade I took, I'd take 100 times over again, which is the one I took for this. And it did play out exactly how I wanted it to, but there was kind of a manipulation before it actually went in the direction I wanted it to. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this. Today, I believe this shit's not loading for some reason. We just had 2 red fullers at 5:30 that really did nothing. Obviously, we still had this big 4-hour gap, which led me to not want to really take longs today, just based off the fact that we still kind of need to fill this in a little bit. But we did end up going pretty bullish, but this is what I was talking about right here. You can see obviously market opens here, and a lot of my plays were shorts down to London lows, and we just did not end up taking them. We kind of just missed it by 8 points, and then kind of out of thin air skyrocketed up. I'll show you guys more in depth than that, but going into market open, we had these 3 stacked lows, so all pretty low resistance, and then we had these 2 highs and this high up here. And on the hourly, this was actually pretty much equal highs, so that was my draw. But we are still very much respecting bearish structure. We had respected this hourly gap the other day, and we came back up and tapped back into it right before market open. And yeah, I kind of wanted a short right at the start of the day. On the 15-minute time frame, we did have this gap that was unfilled up here, so that was somewhat of another reason longs would have been decent, but the only good long play was off of here, and realistically this was a reversal off hopes and dreams. As you guys can probably see, we had inversed the 15 down. There wasn't any single fair value gaps on the bullish side that should have stopped us from coming down to these lows. I don't really understand why we left them. ES didn't take them either, so I don't really know, but kind of boned me today, not gonna lie. But yeah, this first trade I took was super simple. We come up right at market open, and we take this 15-minute high, and the data candle was right here. That really didn't do anything. As you can see, it was swept out instantly. But we come up, we take that 15-minute high, we also swept out all this, and we get a 1-minute IFEG right off market open. And I did take a short right here. This is the one I took on my evals and both accounts, obviously. And this one ended up stopping me out right there, and it stopped me out on the eval, obviously on this candle, but I was just targeting down to London lows. pretty high R, but it did play out pretty nice. We even got the inversion on this gap as well, which I wasn't really counting on, but we did get very nice displacement through it. Realistically speaking, I should have gone break even here. This should have been my break even point at this low right here. And I didn't go break even because we got such strong displacement. I wasn't even really worried about it, to be honest. And we had inversed everything. And like I said, the only thing that was really concerning was this 15-minute gap here, but we hadn't even tapped into that. I mean, we barely tapped into it, but we hadn't really gone into it at all at this point. And that was going to kind of be my break even in the middle of the gap. And we had also, on the liquidity sweep, we had also tapped into this 5-minute gap. So this short setup was just beautiful in my opinion. We get the sweep, we get the tap, we get the 1-minute IFEG, and it just didn't play out. We just got the reversal there. And then, of course, it goes basically right to TP right after. So, yeah, that was a $460 loss. Blew my eval on that one as well. And then right after, we come up and we retest this 5-minute. But I did end up taking a long. Like I said, based on the fact that we had these hourly equal highs here. There was a 2-minute inversion here, I believe. Let's see. Where is market open? Right here. Yeah, so you can see here there's a 2-minute inversion to the upside, and that would be right here. And we get a tap back into this 1-minute fair value gap too. And obviously we swept all these lows. We tapped into this 15-minute gap. I also really like longs here. And I enter off the tap back into this gap. And again, targeting these. And my stops got hit right there. They were a bit higher, right about there. But again, probably should have gone break even on this one, but I was just, again, way too confident. We were going to blow through this gap, come up to these highs, and that would have been it for me on the day. That would have put me up about $300 in profit, and I would have gladly walked away with that. But again, we go a good amount in profit, and I was pretty much break even at this point on the day, and then we just dump off that 5-minute gap. Blow through my stop loss, and basically as soon as that trade got smoked, I re-entered a short, which I do think this one was the trade of the day. Entering right here after we get that 1-minute IFEG back down. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I kind of went on tilt a little bit today, I'm not gonna lie. I was not trading my best, but I do think all these trades were valid. Do I think I rushed them a little bit? Yes, but price was moving pretty fast today, and that's just how it was going. But I did end up getting taken out break even because I did actually go break even on this one. I didn't do the same thing 3 times in a row because we tapped in this 15-minute gap. Was worried about a reversal. Went break even, got taken out break even right there. But if you didn't go break even, this was definitely the trade of the day, especially if you just targeted down to these lows. You could have easily caught almost a 1-3. In my opinion, that was the trade of the day, as long as you targeted these lows and not London lows, because obviously London lows never got hit. But that was a break even for me. So at this point, I'm down about $900. And this was the next trade was the big trade I took. I re-entered here after we got a tap back up into that, and we get this 1-minute IFEG down. And realistically, there's a bunch of gaps here. We tapped into 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. Obviously respected all of them. And I was a bit nervous about the 15 minute, but I figured we were going to break it at this point. And my stops were pretty wide on this one. I started with only 4 micros, and I sized my way in pretty heavy to the point where my entry was like pretty much all the way down here, right? And this trade ended up taking me out at 750, right about there, for another $400 loss. After I came, I don't know, 7 points, 7 3/4 away from hitting TP. And again, why did I not go break even? Was because I added so many positions. My break even was basically where price was. I kind of fucked myself over adding so much, but if this trade would have hit, it would have put me up $300 on the day, and instead I took a $400 loss. So at this point I'm down about $1,350, give or take, and I figured why not make it an even number. And you guys know I like even numbers, and lose $150 more, because why the fuck not? So I did decide to take one more short right here. Sorry, it was right down here after we closed below this 1 minute gap, and obviously we retested all these gaps up here, and we get the 1 minute IFEG down. And again, I figure we come this close to London lows, we're going to just come down and smack them. At this point, we had already inversed the 15-minute gap, and like I said, there is not a single gap in the way of us hitting these lows. Not a 5 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 15, nothing. And price just wanted to keep going higher, and I got stopped out pretty damn fast on this one because I was only risking $150. I got stopped out pretty much right about on this. I want to say I got stopped out up here, right there. And yeah, I don't really like this trade that much. This one was kind of shit, but I was barely risking anything, so I don't really care. It's kind of a rough day, to be honest. Nothing really played out in my favor. Like I said, every single setup I took, I would take again 10 out of 10 times. They just weren't playing out today, and that's fine. I really don't get why we didn't run through these lows, but like even on Financial Juice, there was no significant news that would have caused us to reverse. Obviously, we had these hourly equal highs, which was a pretty strong draw, but at this point we were like about 200 points away from them, and we were 7 points from London low. So why we didn't come down, tag it, and then do this, I don't know, but it is what it is, I guess. The market makers want to leave a bunch of low resistance lows because realistically there's a good chance we dump off CPI tomorrow and take all this shit out. So that's probably what it was setting up for. Chances are I'm going to get 2 Lucid Pro accounts, try to full port CPI. I got lots of money right now, so if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Might also full port this account just because $500 is not much to work with, but I don't know. It hasn't worked very good for me in the past few months, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we do have CPI tomorrow, and then some orange folder a little bit after, so nothing crazy. But if you guys are planning on trying to pass evals with CPI, I do have a video of that on my channel under the tutorials playlist. You guys can go check that out. It's worked a lot for me in the past, but the past few times we've definitely got nailed on it. I mean, you'll get a wick down and then a wick up, or vice versa, and you basically get smoked on it. So be careful if you are doing it. It's obviously not a guarantee. And yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for me today, guys. Kind of a rough day. I'm not too happy about it, but we'll bounce back. Obviously had a huge week last week, so can't complain too much. Already locked in the payout, and I still got a big buffer on the one account, so we'll get back up to it. But yeah, today sucked. So if you guys did enjoy, you guys can brighten my mood a little bit by leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.